Okay, but where does data scientists come into this? What is data science then? There's AI, there's machine learning as an approach to AI, and then there are challenges like NLP, computer vision, that AI is trying to solve, but what is data science? So data science is basically name of a profession. It's a job. Everything that I've said so far is more on the academic side of things. There are people who are doing research into these things. Data science is more the industrial profession, or the professional profession, also not academic but professional job of working with these systems. A data scientist is someone who knows how to work with data, who knows how to work with these systems, who knows how they work to an extent, and who can use them, manipulate them to the goal that they're trying to achieve. Okay, but what does that look like in a professional environment? So a normal data science project has 3 steps. First, you have collecting and storing of data. Then you have analyzing of the data. And then the final one is the deployment step that we also talked about while we were talking about the data engineering role. So in the collection and analyzing of data, you basically are seeing how you can collect data, if you're getting it from some systems, or where you can find the data, where you should store it, in which kind of database, things like that. So this is more of the data engineering side of things. And then you have the analyze bit. There is basically data scientists and data analysts come into play, and there you can analyze the data, you can do some machine learning training on the data, you can do some predictive analysis, and at the end you will have a system, or you will have a model, for example, that needs to be used in the daily production of a company. And the last thing is deployment. So the deployment is, again, could be data engineer or some sort of engineer, or machine learning engineer, for example. Someone who puts what data analysts or data scientists made into use in a way that anyone can use. So these are the 3 steps, and we will be looking at the, as a data scientist, you will be working on the analyst step or analyze step. But what kind of skills do you need for this analyze step? So I will be focusing more on the data science side of things now. To become a data scientist, I divide the skills that you need to have in 3 layers. So one of them is practical skills, theoretical skills, and technical skills. So what these are, I'm going to explain in a very brief way. If you want to learn more about it, you can go check out the Data Science Kickstarter mini course again. As I said, I will be leaving the link in the description. So practical skills are basically things that you get a little bit from experience, but also by kind of knowing how things work. It is a knowledge of what are the steps to a data science project, what you should be doing in each way. So, you would know then first you do data exploration, and then data cleaning, data preparation, and then model training, for example. But sometimes, of course, this seems very simple. I call this the data science skeleton, but depending on the project, you might need to do some changes, some tweaks to this skeleton or to this way of working, and that's why I call this the practical knowledge. This is the kind of the practical knowledge that you need to know, or that you need to be able to change if need be as a data scientist. So this is the practical knowledge. The second one is a theoretical knowledge. So theoretical knowledge is knowing more on a theoretical level, as the name suggests, how things work, how machine learning algorithms work, why, or not really why, but also kind of why you need to do things in a certain way. What would happen if you didn't do things in a certain way? What would happen if you left missing values in your data set? Why is that a bad thing? So all these theoretical things, or things that the information, the knowledge that has been accumulated over time from people that have been working in this area, so things that you shouldn't be figuring out by yourself. So that's the theoretical part of things. That's another layer of knowledge that you need to have. And the last one is the technical knowledge. And this is basically being able to implement what you know in a technical way or in a hands-on way. So, this could be using a programming language, for example. So then you would know how to do certain things that you know that you should be doing because of your practical knowledge, and you know how to do, in which conditions to do it thanks to your theoretical knowledge. And on top of that, you would know how to do those things thanks to your technical knowledge on Python, on your preferred IDE or programming environment. In the course, I talk about the layers in a little bit more detailed way. So if you want to see that, you can go check out the course. There is also the levels of what you should learn in the course. So, you know, we talked about the theoretical layer of knowledge, but not everything in the theoretical layer is very simple for beginners to learn. So there are things that are easier to understand, like why you should clean your data, for example. Those are the things that are easy to understand. But then there's also harder things. This could be tuning your machine learning algorithm, how that works and why it's important. So I divided everything that you should learn in the theoretical knowledge layer to 5 levels of from easiest to hardest. It's kind of tedious to talk about here, so if you want to learn about that, you can go check out my course, see what you should learn first when it comes to data science and what you should leave last. So how can you cumulatively learn by adding more and more information for you so it will not become overwhelming for you. So go check out the course for that. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, why not give it a like? And maybe even subscribe. You know, it's nice for me to see when people like things, and also kind of motivates me to do more of this work when I see that people are following me. So thanks again for watching this video, and I'll see you around.